Equinox Cuddle Core here with the ICFC match analysis brought to you by Xiaoyu by BenQ USA. Make sure you check out that link in the description below if you want to find out more about Xiaoyu. Welcome back, everyone. It's Cuddle Core, and today we're going to do another analysis vid, but it's a little different, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a grand finals analysis vid of my ICFC tournament run from week 4. It was a really intense set of resetting the bracket and ultimately taking the W. But it was against a player who has been killing the competition, who's been winning dang near all the ICFCs. Glaciating. So this was a very important, super crucial match, and I'm really excited to be able to analyze this sweaty, difficult grand finals, and you'll even get to see a little character variation in this too. So let's check it out. Going into this, I automatically thought, okay, we could go Alisa, we could go Ling, and I said, okay, we have a couple games to play around with. Let's go Ling. I think Ling does really good against Paul. In dealing with Paul, she goes under a lot of his mids, but she goes under a lot of people's mids, right? So, in dealing with some of Paul's pressure, being able to sidestep right AOP is very essential in dealing with his quarter circle back 4. His quarter circle back 2 even his quarter circle forward move, some of those, she can go under a lot of them, and his launchers, a lot of things that would help him come back. And because of her AOP down, her AOP down movement, it helps her evade even more. It helps her evade his shredder kicks, both hits if you do AOP down. There's so many things she evades versus him that stops her from taking unnecessary damage versus a character who is such a powerhouse in regards to comeback factor and in launchers and just 50-50s. So right now, I'm trying to space him out. I break the throw. I try and just chill on. Even if I get hit like once by like a critical 4-3 or like a sidestep low or something like that, not to be too phased by it. I try and do some small pokes, just small pokes, just to try and get him off of me, trying to assert myself with a little bit of offense. I try and use my AOP. He does the punish on AOP 2-1. The way he's kind of dashing and like waiting, I try and like not press too soon. And especially in rage, I wasn't trying to overextend myself at all. Because last time I played him in this tournament where he sent me to losers, I died because I overextended at the end at a very important point of the round, which cost me, and I lost the set. So now I try and poke a little bit, jab a little bit, but I try not to give away too much. Try and chip away. I try and stay as close as I can to him in certain points just because I want to see how he'll respond to certain things. I've noticed that he'll dash, wait a millisecond, and then he'll do the move like dash, wait, quarter circle back 2 to see where my head is. I've noticed. So I'm trying to use my small jabs again, small pokes, small jabs, down back 4, 1 jab, down forward 1, down 1, just tons of things to try and see if I can poke away, get him to press a little bit more. He uses down forward 2 to read me. And then he ends up killing me that game because he had a read on my offensive timing, especially with Ling Xiaoyu. I sometimes feel like he has to risk a lot more. So I try and play even slower here, try and play a little bit to keep up. But once I'm in on him, I try and make it count. He's hit me a few times with that quarter circle back 2 though. I wish I would have done a better combo on that down back 4 because that is an actual launcher on counter hit. He's trying to walk me a bit more now, so I try to make sure I'm not pressing too much. Because of that with sidestep low, I get the forward 4, and I end up closing out the first game. At that point, I'm like, okay. Because of how slow I was playing, I was able to control the pace. I was able to add up on those pokes. And when he was in rage, I tried not to overextend. Because of the nature of Paul, because of the nature of how the character is, one launcher in general, and especially one launcher in rage, you're dead. And because of the way the character is, and I'm playing somebody, a character that's not as doesn't do as much damage, and she's more like poke heavy, and so his pokes don't add up the same as hers. So I kind of have to be more considerate of when I have the life lead and where I want to use my rage, where I want to use my rage drive, conserving those things, becoming more defensive when he is in rage, thinking about those things, where I want to plant AOP to get get more momentum, to get the life lead. Things like that are so important in decision making, especially when you know your character sometimes doesn't have the same amount of damage compared to another character. So how Ling makes up for that is she can do AOP, she can go under a lot of his moves, but all it takes from him is like one launcher, maybe like 2 tops. So I have to make those pokes count. So even the way I was doing my pokes, sometimes doing down forward 1, then waiting, then attacking, but trying to delay what I was doing so that Glaciating wouldn't get a read on where I was trying to attack more, because once he started stepping, that's when he was trying to get a launcher or where he was trying to get a punish. I noticed that he kept on going to Mishima Dojo, so he either likes the stage or there's something about the range and the wall or like the corner and the pressure that he really likes, because he always goes there. Same way I am with Twilight Conflict. So I try and give myself a little bit of time to process, because I did take the first game. But I definitely knew he would adapt because of all the times I played him. So now he's trying to like dash even more and use that movement to kind of throw off where I want to press. Yeah, he's way more defensive right here. So he gets the counter hit critical forward 3. I get the break. Even then, I'm not really too scared to do anything. But even, like right there when I talked about it, that step that he did, he was waiting for that because of the way I was attacking. So yeah, there was a few times where he would get those steps, and it was very like important for the round. And that would have been a time where I should have played done a jab, waited for him to step, because yeah, he's moving. Like I'll press something and then he'll step. So being more conscious of that, I try and slow it down a little bit more. Because he's in rage, I chill a lot more at this point. 34 seconds on the clock. I'm not trying to give away anything. I can take a couple of lows. Yep, I can take a couple of lows. I can definitely take a couple of lows. That's okay. And then I was able to close it out with like a solid down forward. Because like I said, I didn't want to overextend, because all it takes for Paul is one launcher. Especially in rage, he could have easily come back. I didn't launch whip punish right there, but that's okay. So I'm trying to still keep up my pokes. I've made him whip a few times. Oh my god, that Corsical 4-3 at tip range whipped when I punished it, when I blocked it. That's insane. Okay, now I'm starting to incorporate a little bit more speed on my my offense, trying to stay a little bit closer. There's 24 seconds left. We're about the same amount of health. He's still trying to use that Corsical back to catch me ducking. I don't duck I don't block the low. I don't break the throw. I accidentally did something right. I accidentally did the wrong move right there. So when I did the back turn launcher, that was all me. I meant to do that, but I did not mean to do that weird launch right there. So now that I have a little bit of momentum, I start getting a read on his timing. So I'm just poking away. Trying to stay outside of his range. He got a good step right there. So now I'm trying to play a lot slower. Now he's starting to use that demo man. That was a very scary situation. I think if I would have been a bit more aggressive with my movement, I would have been able to kind of not had to deal with the wall or anything like that. But because of the way that was, I did not punish that accurately at all. I didn't expect that to happen. towards the end of that round, I definitely could have brought it back, but I got a little too anxious at the end. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm like, I need to change up what I was doing. I'm like, I still think the formula works for how I'm poking him, how I'm waiting when I do certain things. I'll delay my movement by like a millisecond, then I'll do something. I'm using the down back twos. I'm like, but I need to, 1, play a little tighter, 2, don't be fazed by being low in health, use it to your advantage, and 3, don't be afraid to stay a little closer. I think that was the times where I was getting the most damage and the most mileage was when I was playing closer to him. And even if I wasn't doing something, it was the fact that I was still like poking. And with my poking, I did notice that if I started to like maybe do down forward 1 and then maybe do like a follow-up move if I was back turn or something like that, he would always try and like sidestep me left because that's Ling's weak side. So what I would do instead is I would like maybe do a down forward 1, then wait, and then like down forward 1 or like sway just to see if he was gonna step again. All right, so I believe I either picked this stage or yeah, I think I picked the stage. Actually, yes, I think I picked the stage. So he goes for core circle back 2. I try and start getting some offense again. He starts to use down 1 a little bit, which is really good against Ling. He gets the whip punish on my while standing 2. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so let me start being a little bit more defensive, because now he's starting to put a lot more moves on the page. Yeah, he stepped again. Yeah, he's continuously stepping left. And now he's waiting because he doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to overextend, but he got caught on my 1-2-1. Okay, I get the magic 4. I try and bring it back. I try and play a lot faster, and he doesn't want to have to deal with that. He doesn't want to have to deal with my rage drive. Nobody wants to guess on that. So I just dashed up and I waited. It's the scariest when you just dash up and do nothing. So I'm trying to play a lot more patient right here. I tried to duck the back 1-2, but I guess something happened right there. And he's still trying to use that down 1 to stop me from getting started on AOP, or with my AOP. Yeah, he's still sidestepping left. There's a couple times where, thank God, because of the way I dashed up and it left me off axis, it wouldn't have given him much anyway. So I go again for down back 2. I felt like I had a read on what he was gonna do right there, so I went for AOP, which definitely gave me a momentum shift, definitely in my favor. So with 17 seconds left, I force the whip, I weave in, I weave out. I use the rage art to kill any sort of momentum and use that as a time killer and give myself a time to recollect. He goes for that core circle forward 3 again, but I feel like my core circle forward 3 will, not mine. His core circle forward 3, the equivalent for me is down back 2, which is fine. All right, so he gets a read on my AOP, gets this crazy launcher with a great read. I try to get something a little started here, but he already had pulled away so much in health. But the last round, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and play tight defense as much as I can. Dash up and wait. He gets a block on my down back 2. It's crazy punish. Punish for that. That was actually the right punish because it's a knee, and Xiaoyu can't parry those knees when she does the back turn 2. Down back 2. I get the down back 4, but I didn't actually get the full combo for it because I didn't do it. I get the AOP read again. And then I go for the AOP sweep. I felt definitely that last round, the way in which I wanted to adapt was I wanted to stop him from being able to sidestep left each time I was trying to create offense. Because there were so many times where he was sidestepping me left. Thank goodness, because I think it would have been a lot closer in regards to this reset. When you play as Ling, it's really easy to just want to get started and like stay in that zone, but sometimes you have to know when to tone it down so that you can change up your timing so they don't get a read right away on it. All right, right here, I was trying to keep that same kind of like feel for being defensive, but when I needed to be offensive, I was. But when I had my back to the wall, I didn't want to commit too much. I didn't want to have any sort of advantage in that sense. So if I needed to wait a little bit, I was going to play patiently. I was going to let my Alisa skills come in handy for these situations. And so even right there, because he was enraged, I literally was going to wait another millisecond. I was willing to take that chance. I break. I get the little mini Ling death fist. The sidestep 4, once I started using it, I felt like I got a lot more speed that way. Once I had him at like a very small amount of health, I was like, okay, and there's 36 seconds. He used up his rage drive. He missed the whip punish on the up forward 4. Because of the range at which I was at, I felt like I could whip that a little better, and because he didn't have a rage drive, I was able to capitalize on that, and I wasn't gonna get whip punished, at least for that. Not terribly compared to, like, you know, a back 1-2 whip punish is way, I'll handle that compared to a rage drive whip punish. Yeah, he keeps on trying to use quarter circle back 2 to force me to duck, but I don't feel like I'm pressured enough to want to duck. So it keeps me in the game very much so. I am so mad that whipped. I think if I would have stayed, like, if I did AOP duck instead, it would have worked. I did not break that at all. I try and start to establish a little bit of like some fear by back turning with rage drive, because everybody freaks out when rage drive, when her back turn rage drive is a possibility, but nothing. Because of the move that he did, it didn't do anything. So with 50 seconds, we're playing pretty chill. I'm waiting, trying to get some pokes in, trying to stay close, trying to keep that pressure on him. Yeah, that was a mistake right there that he did right there. But because I had some sort of feel/read, I ducked and got the while standing 1-4. And because of the way I was poking and I was waiting instead of kind of just continuously attacking, which if he would have sidestepped left, I would have gotten launched, it actually granted me the opportunity to get that reset, which I was so happy about. I was like, okay, let's do this. All right, we're back in this. At that point, I was thinking, he might do Miguel now. And I did think about how Ling versus Miguel could go. I think Ling versus Miguel is not terrible, but sometimes I do like using Alisa more in the matchup, depending on, I think, the Miguel player. But since I did win that reset, I had to stick with Ling, right? I had to stick with her, at least for the first game. So I mentally prepared myself. For what was to come. Miguel, in my opinion, has the range to deal with Ling. So if Ling, he kind of reminds me of Paul in that sense, where like all it takes for him is like one launcher, one hit. For Ling, it takes a few. Yes, she's evasive, but she kind of has to do a bit more work to get you to like, to hurt. And I thought, I'm like, and we're on Forgotten Realm. I said, I'm gonna have to make this count. I'm gonna have to make this count hard. And I'm like, and I still have a couple of games to play with, and if I need to switch to Alisa, I will. That's the beauty of having two characters. In the way that Glaciating is playing, he definitely kind of uses Paul in the same way, but I think he's a lot more offensive. He's a lot more offensive with Miguel, because he can be, because of that stance. I get the block on the low. Yeah, he was definitely trying to keep me outside of his range, especially with that 4-4-4. Ling's back one is so good in this situation. That was a really nice step from him. And I definitely think because of the way he was sidestepping, as Miguel, he was able to capitalize more on it because of the character he was using. Yeah, he went into Savage so fast. I definitely think if I was gonna stay closer, then I have to kind of be willing to, you know, wait a little bit more, space him a little bit, have something ready to interrupt him when I need, just so I'm not dealing with savage mix-ups all day. Alright, right here I get the AOP 2-1, but no conversion. Oh, but I get the AOP sweep. That is the first one I finally get because of the way, because she was an AOP while he was doing his string. That was a nice little parry. I was dashing forward and doing a low a bit too much against him as Ling in this match. So I'm like, okay, I need to mix it up a little bit. I spaced him out a bit, so I was able to make that that savage move whip, thank God. Yeah, he was not budging. He was not budging on that on the AOP launch at all. But I get the AOP 2-1. And I bring it back 2-2 in the first game of the reset. I start to get a timing of his savage low. He wasn't going for savage down forward 2 at all, really. So I kind of felt like I wasn't risking much. I stayed down there so long, but yet again, I felt like I had a read because of the way he was placing his lows. With 39 seconds left on the clock, I definitely was getting more reads on where he was placing moves, and I didn't have to do much, so I kind of just chilled. I didn't really have to do anything. Yep, I just stood there and I waited because I figured he would want to try and use a low to start to open me up because he was low on health. But the same situation that happened in like the round before that where his move whipped, I capitalized with a standing 3, which was ideal for the situation, and I closed out the first game. Close out the first game of the reset. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, Ling is working. Ling is working. Some of these lows are whiffing because of like her feet and because she's probably small and because Miguel has range, but he kind of doesn't sometimes. And I'm like, okay, I can play off of that. I can definitely play off of that. Maybe I could keep the same kind of pace that I was going for in game 1. Probably could have done a bit more AOP baiting, but let's see what happens in the second game. I think going into 1 down 2 instead of doing her shoulder for that down forward 1-2 punish is okay sometimes, but I should have capitalized more. Yeah, he's starting to get a read on my lows. And when I went to AOP, he had a down forward 1 ready. Oh, that whiffed kick. Okay, I got the AOP 2-1. I was not trying to do the back 1+2. I was trying to do a roll, but I got a miss input. So it cost me pretty bad. Yeah, from that range, he was honestly going more for like savage wall splat, like move, and like savage, like the down back 3, I think it is. Yeah, so he's trying to open me up. He's trying to open me up with those lows. And there's the savage down forward 2. Yeah, but that move kept on whiffing. It doesn't work on Ling. Now I'm actually rewatching this tape. I'm noticing that combo was dropping, which definitely was a momentum killer, I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. And now he's starting to go more for those pokes. He definitely, and once he would get the low, once he would actually hit you with the low, I noticed that he would automatically go for like a the down forward 1 check because of how because of the low being plus. So he's definitely going for the down forward 1 check. And because Ling can't she gets hit by that. In AOP, I'm noticing, yeah, she gets hit by that down forward 1 pretty often, it seems. So it actually it pretty much forced me into a situation, and I thought about it. I was like, I should probably switch to Alisa. I'm like, I can do this. I can bring her out. And I thought about it, and I thought about how I felt in regards to the Miguel Alisa matchup anyway. And that matchup to me is fine. Like, I don't feel too weird about it. I think she has the movement to get away from him. I think she has the capability to shut him down, and especially whiff punish versus him. I think Miguel struggles against characters who have good back dashes. Not that his isn't good, but people who are faster than him. So by the time his low comes out, or like a down 3 or something, or like a down 4, down back 3, whatever it is, I could easily back dash twice or once in his move whip and I get a back 4-4. So recognizing things like that for me during these games was essential. And even if I didn't get a whip punish, but just getting outside of his range so that he didn't feel like he could always start his offense, start his momentum with a low. Because Miguel's lows are good. And you will get your ankles chopped off if you don't block them. Alright, so game 3. 4-4-4-2, that was such a great whip punish. I pressed the button right there. I was like, okay, the first round was pretty rough. I was like, I ate all that damage. But I was like, okay, I can control, let's start to control the second round. I'm like, okay, we can start off slow, we can chip away a little bit. See how that down forward 1 whiffed right away? And that low whiffed? And that's what I was hoping for with Alisa. I hadn't played against Miguel in a while, but I was noticing that, I remembered that that's how the character can be. And because of the way Alisa's legs are, Miguel's stuff does whiff. And her movement, a lot of his stuff can whiff, and other characters as well. Yeah, now he's starting to dash up and do other types of lows because the low he was doing before was not effective. Well, not as effective. I got the step. Now I'm trying to wait a little bit. He tries to get something with a down forward 1-2, but I don't budge much. I get the actual full punish with while rising 1-2, which is, it's a 13 frame punish. And I get the chainsaws out. I should not have done Power Crush right there, but he uses Rage Drive kind of soon in my opinion. He tries to get me with that Savage move again. But even if you can kind of slightly see when he goes into Savage, if you have a button to kind of like get him out of it, super useful. I don't know how in the world I got that punish. that low parry. I'm not actually too sure. Nice block on the chainsaw. That was okay. I'm like, I can stand a punish on that. So at this point, I'm trying to light pressure him, get him to the wall, make him feel the heat a bit more. At this point, I feel like he has to use more lows to open me up. And because he's trying to pressure me towards the wall, he's gonna try and, he was gonna try and wall splat me. And I was like, as long as I just chill, I don't have to eat anything. So I really just played that basic kind of defensive game. I didn't feel like I had to do much in that sense, because I had the life lead. I did, and he had to play catch up. So that was super important for me, and just waiting it out. And I'm like, he'll probably use his Rage Drive. Because I feel like in all the games that we played, during this grand finals, he was using his Rage Drive rather soon. We're going into the potential final game for myself. And at this point, I'm like, I could probably use the same formula, the same format I was using for the last game. I can use that. I can do that. But I definitely did start to think about punishing harder on like whipped lows and sidestepping him and making certain things whiff. I definitely need to punish a little harder. And of course, he picked Mishima Dojo again, probably because he likes the stage. I started off with up forward 3-2. Maybe it was something I felt. I'm not too sure what I felt, but I definitely did up forward 3-2. I didn't expect that while standing 2 to hit. Now I try and wait a little bit more. I blocked, but I didn't do a punish. I don't know what in the world I was thinking. Maybe I was just on something that day. But I finally bring out my 4. I hadn't used 4 in like a couple of sets, I think. A couple of games. I did the wrong punish right there. I should have done the hop kick. Down 4-2, I think it's like 16. My hop kick, I think, 14, 15. That would have launched that because it's launch punish. I did not whip punish him right there, but that's okay. I was moving a little fast, but that's all right. I'm trying to dash, stay in his face. I'm trying to get a little something started. We get this crazy trade. Yeah, he did down 4-1, but didn't go into Savage. I did not mean to do that. Right there, that was a forward 1+2. That was a forward 1+2. But I get the punish. I get the punish on that Savage down back thing. I still kind of kept it together at the end. That was crazy because I honestly, I knew he was probably gonna go for Savage down 4-2, and I tried to do 4-1+2 and I got that miss input. That was so embarrassing. Alright, so at this point, I'm kind of just chilling. You know, if he hits me with a low, I'm alright with that. I think I can punish him a little harder for that. I'm gonna definitely check. Anytime he did down forward 1, or down for 1 into something, I made sure I checked it. And he was starting to get a read on my 4s. Yeah, he's definitely starting to play a lot closer, a lot more aggressive. I try and do like my rage drive into fly. I did the slide 3. Yeah, he definitely blocks that a lot, and I'm like, well, I probably shouldn't do that. I probably shouldn't do that much. So now he's trying to push me towards the wall again, because this is where he's gonna get most of his damage. Okay, get the 1-1. Didn't go into chainsaw yet, but that's okay. That's okay. I get the block. I was a little late, though, punishing. I let myself get hit by the down back 3, because I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what's coming out right there, but unfortunately, because of the Savage move that he chose to do, the kick, the tracking move, which was really smart, I get hit, so I don't get that round, because he caught me stepping. But this game, I'm definitely up a lot of points, but I whiffed right there, but I get the get up kick, the get up boot. He used the rage drive really soon, and I have so much help to play with, but I do the down 3 again, and he blocks that, of course. I make a read on the Savage down back 3, and then with my rage drive placed, I use it, and it forces him to guess. And so I use fly 1-2, and I'm able to close it out. I will say, once I tightened up my defense, after I switched to Alisa, I think it was a lot easier for me to maneuver and manage fighting versus Miguel because of switching to Alisa. I think Ling could have done it, but I would have had to have had a bit more practice with that matchup, I think. I do want to look into some of Miguel's lows and how punishable they are, because I was a little slow or didn't punish as hard as I think I can. But overall, I think I really played that that reset and that final set really well, being able to adjust and adapt and character switch when I needed to. Yeah, I've had a really good time playing in all these ICFCs. Great games to everyone. Great grand finals with Glaciating, and good games with him as always whenever I play him. I mean, I'll continue to play in these. Yeah, like I said, this is my third week. Analyzing these matches has been a treat, a delight, and has definitely tested me in every single way. Hope you all enjoy. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Bye!